Welcome to Rafters, Sports and Movies, Spoilers and Commentary. Yes, there will be spoilers. I'm going to share what happens in the movie, what I liked, what I didn't like, freestyle, just like snowboarding. So let's get to thrashing. There will be spoilers. This is Scott with Rafters, Sports and Movies, and the show we're spoiling today is CHADPOWERS. This is a Hulu series. 2025, it just came out. I've watched the first 2 episodes, and I gotta say, it's pretty damn funny. Pretty damn funny. So let's talk series. Okay, so it's a football series. So if you don't like football, you're not gonna like it. It's also a little edgy. Let's be honest. Holiday, Russ Holiday, who is Glenn Powell's character, is a cocky University of Oregon football player, and he's the quarterback. And he's very arrogant, very full of himself. And Glenn Powell does a great job of portraying that. But also what we have here and what you should be watching for is kind of a Jekyll and Hyde thing, because he does transform into CHADPOWERS, who is the polar opposite of Russ Holiday. And so part of the redemption story I'm hoping we get is that Russ Holiday goes away and CHADPOWERS takes over. Okay, so the good Jekyll over Hyde kind of scenario here. So let's talk a little bit more about, now this was filmed in Atlanta, Georgia, so you're going to see a lot of trees, a lot of Atlanta, Georgia backdrop. Also the university that he's supposed to be playing for, the Catfish, get it, is Georgia State University, which does not exist. But it was filmed in Georgia. Georgia's a great place to film. They do a lot for the filming community. So it just makes sense. There are 6 episodes. Just so you know where this all came from, the whole idea of catfishing or having somebody better than he is coming in like this and doing the whole Mrs. Doubtfire thing. Elimanning did a skit, and he catfished Penn State and walked to do tryouts as a walk-on and did the whole makeup and everything. And he coined the name CHADPOWERS. So that is where it came from originally. He is one of the executive producers, along with his brother Peyton. The directors are Paymanbenz and tonyyacenda. They directed it. Actors to watch out for, of course, Glenn Powell, I've already mentioned. FrankieARodriguez does a really good job. I hope his character continues to grow and continues to get more film time. Like I said, I've only watched 2 episodes at this time. Also, stevezahn is in this, and I think he's a great actor, very comedic. His timing is perfect. He and Glenn Powell back and forth, very, very good timing, very funny. And a lot of times Glenn Powell as CHADPOWERS does kind of the lower voice. So be ready for that. You may want to watch it with closed captioning on so you catch everything. But his lower voice responses are hilarious. Glenn Powell, good job. Just hilarious. So again, spoilers. This is a spoilers video. So we start out with the beginning of the championship of the Rose Bowl. And we've got Oregon playing Georgia. Happened to be Georgia. And then he goes to a Georgia school. So that, again, kind of makes sense. And he breaks free. The quarterback, who is Russ Holiday, is his name in the show, breaks free and he runs. Nobody can touch him. He's going. He's going to score a touchdown. And he drops the ball in celebration before he passes the goal line, which means, yes, you guessed it, it's a fumble. Georgia picks it up about the 2-3 yard line, runs it all the way back. They were in a tie game at the time. Not anymore. Georgia won. No minutes left on the clock. Here's where you really get to see the jerk of Russ Holiday. There's a kid in a wheelchair at the edge of the end zone. He has a bald head, so you're thinking, oh, he's a cancer patient. And it's a child, so he's probably 7, 8, 9, somewhere, maybe 6, somewhere in there, and he's in a wheelchair. And he yells out, Russ, you're still my favorite player, trying to be positive. And Ruff's like, whatever. And the dad's like, he's got cancer. And he's like, dude, I don't care. And the dad gets mad at Russ. Dad and Russ kind of tussle, and Russ just clocks him and throws him into the wheelchair, and the scene. And then we see the downward spiral. He's trying, I'm going to play in the USFL or the XYZFL, whatever, some other. They have the Hawk 2 girl in there with a Bitcoin joke, which was very funny. And she actually tells Russ, she says, don't tell anybody I know you. Which was perfect because of what all happened with the Hawk 2 girl and her rise and fall, especially with her Bitcoin interactions. So it's a pretty good comedy there. Russ is working for his dad, and his dad is like a makeup artist for the film industry, and he makes faces, and he's working on a show called The Alamo, which I thought we'll see if that makes some relevance later on. And I guess maybe that has some underlying tones for Final Stand. This is your final stand if you take this journey, Russ Holiday, to be Chad Powers. So he's delivering this prosthetic face to a studio, and he sees a banner for Mrs. Doubtfire at the studio entrance. He's like, I'm going to catfish. I'm going to Mrs. Doubtfire. He doesn't say catfish. I'm going to Mrs. Doubtfire football and go to these open walk-on tryouts for Georgia State University in Georgia, who happen to be the catfish. Ha ha. There's another joke. And they pull that all the way through. And so he takes his dad, he doesn't drop off the plastic pieces his dad has made, and it's supposed to be put on and then blended in with your face. And there you go. You have a different face than what you're supposed to. So he takes off from California, drives all the way to Georgia. And in the movie, of course, it's like that. And he's got a hoodie on. He's driving a Tesla truck, which again shows his hubris, his arrogance there. And look at me, I'm big and tough. I got no knock on you if you've got a Tesla truck, but it kind of tracks. It could have been a Ferrari, could have been a Lambo. It's a Tesla truck. They also show him charging it at some point on his drive, which I thought that was good. That was short charge, but there you go. And so he gets there. He's on campus. He gets attacked and pepper sprayed by the catfish mascot, who thought he was an on-campus bad guy shooter. Something's fixed bad's going to happen, because that little fella, who is played by FrankieARodriguez, just wants to be a hero. He wants to be the hero in the morning light. And so he's like, you're Russ Holiday. He says, no, I'm not. He said, yeah, you are. I see you all over on some fake social media thing he made up, or they made up for this. And so he's like, I'm going to the trials. He said, yeah, but you can't go as you. He's like, yeah, I've got that covered. So he helps him with his makeup and all, and he actually befriends him, and he's really nice to him. And he didn't have to be, because Russ at this point is still Russ. He's not particularly nice to him, and it's not reciprocal for sure. So he goes to try. This is a bad idea. I'm going to do it. No, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm not going to do it. He's waffling back and forth. More characters are introduced. We meet a female coach who I think we're going to find has some real coaching talent. And we find out later, again, another spoiler here, she's the head coach's daughter. So the head coach is trying to protect and help her, but actually not really doing her any favors, because they're very misogynistic towards her and not giving her a shot. And that's just not right. So I think we're going to find out later on. And again, we've got, oh no, it's not 8 episodes. Oh no, it's three. So it's 6 episodes for this to build And my guess is we are going to have a second season. At least I hope we are. It definitely has got some watch time. That's a good thing. It is funny. It's funny all the way through. And when it is really funny is when he's Chad Powers. When he's Russ Holiday, you're like, dude, you're just a jerk. You're just a jerk. Yeah, there's language in here. There's some nudity in here. So, they're not trying to over the top it. They're putting in, a decent amount. The language is not all over the board. It's placed to show Russ's rough edges, if you will, not just cussing for the sake of cussing, like a sorry water boy, like a Adam Sandler movie. It's not over the top like this. It's got just the right amount of it in there. So he goes to, like I said, he goes to the tryout. He's number 200, which has no relevance whatsoever. I tried to find relevance in it other than it's got a 2 in there for a second chance, because that's what he wants. He wants a second chance to redeem myself. So he does really well at the tryout. Now, if you watch real closely and you watch, there's an out route. They go down and out. The defensive person in that was KEYSHAWNCHISHOLM, who's been on the channel. So Keyshawn, we saw you. We knew that was you. And yeah, you got burned. You're supposed to get burned. That's the way it works. But yeah, he's in a white shirt, and he kind of I'm gonna cover you, and I fall down, and he makes the catch. The good guy makes the catch and makes Russ look really good. And in this case, he's playing Chad Powers at points because he's got the full prosthetic on, and how he came up with his name when he was checking in with the female coach was really quite funny. And then they like him. They're going to offer him a spot on the team. So this was an open tryout for quarterbacks. It may have been for the whole team, but it really sounded to me like it was for a quarterback to kind of get this team out of the gutter. They take him, and then at some point we go to second episode. He's now got a transcript. He's now got he's got somebody to false file his documents. He had to have a driver's license, the whole bit. And one of the funniest scenes is the scene when he is picking up the fake driver's license and stuff. So I hope I didn't spoil it for you, because it was definitely a belly laugh. And oh my God, what are they doing here? It was very well done, very well thought out. And he's there as Chad Powers. And I'm not going to spoil it any more than that, other than get ready to laugh and don't be drinking, don't be taking a drink from your cup at the time, because you are definitely going to spit it all over the place. Same thing. Don't be chewing popcorn. You're going to choke. You're not supposed to eat peanuts by yourself, President Bush. So he gets all his credentials, and the coach tells him, we're going to take you on. And there's some funny moments there. And then they have a offensive team party at the coach's house, coach's lake house, which happens to mostly be a pool party. Really didn't go into the lake part. I don't even think I could see the lake from his house. So lake house, not on the lake. Coach must be doing pretty good, because he's got 2 houses. I don't think he's living at the lake house, or maybe he is. And that's part of the story here. He's definitely having trouble with his wife. She doesn't come. That's odd. The head booster lady shows up, was not invited. Who she played by? I'm gonna look it up real quick, see if I can find it for you. She is played by, can't find it fast enough. Let's see. Yeah, I can do this. So I think it's Wynneverett plays her. I'm pretty sure that's who it is. And she does a phenomenal job. She does a little accent, and she brings her dog to the party. Her dog's name is Boo Radley. Put in the comments if you know what Boo Radley comes from. Interesting name for a dog. I'm going to spoil it for you. I hope it's from To Kill a Mockingbird, is Boo Radley. And so there's little things like that throughout. One of the assistant coaches has some funny one-liners. He calls CHADPOWERS radio at one point because he's just not moving, just not doing anything. So he calls him radio. Like, okay, was that the only football character that you could think of that or maybe another genre other than football? You grab a radio. And then another coach tells him why radio was the way he was. It was because he was in a car accident when he was a kid. And everybody's like, wow, how'd you know that? So it's a little bit of love sports trivia. Hello, sports and movies. That's kind of my thing. So the problem with the party at the lake house was his prosthetic is not waterproof. And maybe his dad knows how to make waterproof prosthetics, but what he has in his possession is not waterproof. And so he did not want to jump in the pool. He did not want to participate in the balloon water gun fight. So there's some comedic moments there. There's some comedic moments with the prosthetic. And he, at the end of episode 2, he learns he's not going to be the starting quarterback. He's going to be the backup. So why did they go through all the hassle of having tryouts? And they're going to try out the one that is the number 1 quarterback was the walk-on backup quarterback for the last 2 or 3 years. He knows the playbook in and out. He's just not very athletic. He's kind of short, kind of tiny. He's not a good quarterback. But they're going to make him number 1. Chad's going to be number 2, and he accepts that, and we roll into episode 3. So that gets you caught up. I've only watched 2 episodes. Kind of gives you some things to look for, some humor points. Probably the best sports comedy in quite a long time as far as a series go. It very well done, very funny. Got some good writing. I hope the writing continues. Got 6 episodes, so I got 4 more to watch. You got, I don't know, count it yourself. I don't know how many you've watched so far. But this is something to watch. I think you'll enjoy it. Yeah, I geek out. This is sports and movie. I love the good feeling that a good sports movie gives us, the redemption, the team effect, you can do it, we can win, we put in the work, we put in the time, we do it, we can win. I love that about sports movies. I hope you do too. This is Scott with Rafters, Sports and Movies. And this was a spoilers and commentary for the TV series CHADPOWERS. Go check it out. Don't forget to like the video before you go. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe to the channel for more sports and movies content. Until our next game, this is Rafters Sports and Movies, where we raise our favorite sports movies to the rafters, just like those championship banners. Thanks for watching. Your roster spot is secure here at Rafters Sports and Movies.